I'm Ethan, and I'm hanging out with Ron Morehead, and we're talking about the Bigfoot documentary movie that we are in the making of. Hey, Ron, how's it going?
Going great, Ethan. How are you today?
Pretty good, pretty good. How was your holiday?
Oh, just full of turkey and ham and tri-tip and everything you can imagine.
Good
Yeah,
old good stuff. Yeah. So, are you excited about this documentary movie, or?
I am. Yeah, yeah. It's come along, and even though we can't talk about it, it's good to talk about it.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
location's forbidden.
Well, anything that helps elevate people's awareness of what's really going on is good for me because I think we're in the time of this planet now where people need to know things, and you know, they just hungry for knowing more because more and more is being uncovered all the time. And I think we're going to uncover something. I hope so. Anyway, that's the plan. And can't say where or when. Just been sure of that. don't want to get followed there, you know. But anyway, it's going to be exciting. I'm all for adventure. That's all I've been about my whole life, and that's what I like. You know, if you're not on the edge of something, you're not going to appreciate the backside enough.
Very true.
And yeah, you don't know light unless you know dark.
True.
And yeah, that's the only thing that makes light worthwhile is knowing that there's darkness too. And the only thing that makes a plus is a minus. So the yin and the yang they talk about. So
Yeah.
you got to have both. You got to have the Sophia, and you got to have you got to have both sides. So anyway, it's like a coin. You know, you flip it, and it's got to have two sides before it's worth anything.
Yep. So
uh,
what do you think about the pyramids, Ron?
Well, I don't know. You know, I got to see them. I got to see them, and not that I have to see everything, but I saw the pictures that you took, and that's intriguing. And you know, the pyramids are being found, but what they stand for and what they do is what's really, I think, important. I think it's some form of communication, maybe. But until you know, it's hard to say until you get there and see it. So that's what we're going to do. I hope. But I also got to caution. The government. If the government don't want you to know and don't want to be revealed, they're going to be everything against us to do this. So
Yeah, to stop.
I know I was just filming night before last on a documentary that David Pilates did, and it's about the government's involvement. It's not about that, but it's a good revealing because people are in the dark about what's going on with the dog man and the Bigfoot and stuff like that, and
Yep.
you know I really get a little bit taken aback when some intelligent people talk about the woo-woo or something like that when they just don't understand. They're uneducated, and really anybody that calls quantum physics the woo-woo, everything from the most minute atom all the way through the cosmos works under the rules of quantum physics. And it's just that we live in our third density, and we only live in three dimensions, and there's more than that going on. People don't understand there's more going on than what meets the eye, and our 3D eye, but we got a third eye in there somewhere. Most of us do. I think humans do. You know, it just that has to remain open to receive things, and unfortunately, we calcify that with our diets and things like that, and it's all planned that way, I think. But we're becoming more and more aware, and I think it's time in our time of this time, which probably don't exist anyway, according to physics. So we're just doing the best we can and responding the best we can to everything we come across, and that's what's important to me. So I'm looking forward to when we go and going, and it should be fun and exciting.
I think it's pretty wild because a lot of the pyramids were, some of them were kind of the same, but there was different ones, and that's what I was like, whoa, different looking, different looks to them. Almost like some of them had like the square look with the lines coming across, but then some had like almost like they were a statue looking pyramid. Did you see the
Hmm.
first one that had like that almost like statue to it?
I saw what you sent to
Hmm.
me. Yeah, I I I hold back reservations so I can study it myself. You know, I want to do that, so it'd be really, 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 really interesting. to
I'm afraid
to
we get in there, we won't want to leave. If we get to the pyramids, we'll be like, no, no, let's just stay here for the night. You know
well,
what
it
I
depends
mean?
on if something's guarding it that we don't like, or something's guarding it that they don't like us. It's
True.
all about our vibration. We got to have a right vibration, have a good attitude, and just go in with an open mind and be simple and
Hmm.
yet effective.
Yep. I love that you say that, Ron. That's exactly how I'm going in.
Hmm.
Just simply minded and not, I have no fear in me. I've seen way too many different creatures to where I'm too used to it. Now I'm proud to say, hey,
Yeah,
come
good.
here, hey, let's be friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a question people ask me all the time. Weren't you afraid and all the sounds are going on right next to you out there in the Sierra Mountains? And I said, well, to be honest with you, no, I wasn't. I wasn't that fearful, but I think it's because of the vibration I had. They were syncing with that or something. I don't know. All of us had our guns. Don't get me wrong. They give us a certain amount of security feelings, but still, our intention was not to do harm to them unless we were attacked, which didn't happen, and
Yep.
didn't think it was going to happen after so long. Because this went on this one night. Because people ask me, "What did you do about that night when you?" It wasn't a night; it was several nights over the years, and it was really interesting thing to do and exciting, very exciting. And I like excitement. That's how when you're bored, you realize, hey, it's been good.
Yeah, you're
Also,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Excitement is it, number one. So yeah, heck yeah, yeah. So I've been finding a lot of creatures around there. A lot of them are partway invisible, and I'm sure there's invisible ones where I'm not seeing because of that, but I'm seeing where parts of them are showing, where they're like either coming out of being invisible or going into being invisible. And I found a lot of them around that area. So it almost
Hmm.
makes me think kind of like they're kind of guarding it a little bit the way I found them, but I'm really not afraid of that. Um, I don't I learned to not fear, and I've taught myself that because of going through what I've seen on Salem's Island and stuff, and after that, and so it's like I'm not afraid, man. You know what I
Good,
mean?
good.
I'm not
That's a
afraid.
good
I
way to be.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm just, like I said, I just, if there's any way we can communicate with these creatures or anything like that, then I'm definitely willing to try that to go just to,
Hmm.
hey, can we come in and can we see your home or can we, see what's going on or something?
Well, unless they let you, they got to help you with that vibration because uh, it's uh, it's just it's energy, and you don't see energy. But then I tell people that it's the most minute level. We are energy,
Yep.
and if you can't see energy, how are we seen? That's a good question. I'm glad you asked. Yeah,
True.
the light. And without light, you wouldn't reflect the photons that are on you. The light's put on you. So
Yep.
it's just quite interesting for those who don't want to think anything can disappear. They need to do their homework a little bit because things can disappear.
Yeah,
Matter and energy are interchangeable, and that's just the way it goes. And that's been established years ago by quantum physics.
yeah.
And they say, well, it only works in the minute level. Well, bullshit. Everything from the atom all the way through the cosmos works under the rules of quantum physics, the mathematics of quantum physics. If you're going to dispute it, you got to dispute it mathematically. And all physicists worldwide understand this, but unknowing people, uneducated people, will call this the woo just because they can't see it. Well,
Yeah.
that's in the box, not out of the box.
True.
And they got to stay within that third density, or they're going to not understand it. But they got to get out of that. Really,
Yep.
that's my word right there. Get out of the box.
Yeah, get out of the box.
Uh,
So
that's saying,
so
hey, we should write a song like it. Get out of the box.
Yeah, you're right. So I've been finding a lot of pictures with which I'm going to share with you, but since I'm on here with you, I might as well just tell you. Um and it's almost to me, Ron, is what you're talking about. It makes so much sense because I'm finding trees that almost, I don't know if it's an invisible creature that's standing in the tree, but it looks like the tree is shaped like a creature. And
Hmm.
not only am I finding one, I've found hundreds of them. And I found them shaped like Bigfoot, and then there'll be a creature coming out the stomach, like maybe a dog man coming out the stomach area, but the whole entire tree looking, it looks like a Bigfoot. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna send those pictures to you, Daryl and Mike, and let you guys look. But it almost is like it's an energy that is forming into that tree area and making a creature. It's weird.
Well, trees are energy, and I think they have to have energy to do what they do. A lot of the enigmas associated with these things are also associated with trees and clear cutting. They really despise that. I know when I was in Portlock, Alaska, I see where they clear cutted trees years ago, and I think that was disturbing to whatever
Yeah,
was
I
out
don't
there.
like it.
But you know, us humans are messing up this planet a lot. We're doing wrong things, and we're a warring species, and we're unconsiderate, and we're not what we should be. What we should be is peace loving and understanding. You know, try to have some compassion on other things that exist besides us.
Yes.
We seem to want to create the environment to fit us, where they live with the environment, and it satisfies them. Just no matter what animal you see, he adapts to his environment wherever he is,
Yep.
and that's just the way they are. We're not that way. Humans are not that way at all. We have to
Mm-mm.
change the environment to fit us. We build houses, we build cars, we put roads in, we do all that stuff, and no.
Yeah, we tear it all up. The natives used to speak a lot of that.
Uh-huh.
We tear it up and destroy stuff, and then money brings greed, and greed brings evil, and it's like so it's like how the heck did this even what I mean get to where it is? It's like you're if we were like you said in a peaceful environment, I think it would be so much better, and things would be at
Well, I think,
standard.
yeah, I think we got to get that way. I think we're slowly getting that way, but revealing some of the stuff we're running across and what it means, I think is helping.
I
And
agree.
it just gets people aware of what we're supposed to be like, who we're made to be like, and we're made to be better than what we are, but we're not being better. I mean, we haven't been. So that's what I try to preach, if you want to call it preaching. This is, uh, well, and some say, oh, they're just flesh and blood. Well, I got up in a big deal here a couple of nights ago and said something because they was arguing about it was flesh and blood or just something woo woo. Well, first of all, woo woo, come on. The woo woo is just quantum physics at work. They just don't get it, and they're either uneducated, unknowing, or stupid. I'm not sure. I hate to say that, but they got to open their minds up. But there's nothing just flesh and blood if it's living. And these things, the ones I ran into the Sierra Mountains, have a human component to them. And I've established that, I think, pretty well in my last book. I put all the dots together from professors and all over the place, and it just boils down to one thing. There's a human component to this. And if that's the case, then what is the human nuclear DNA part of it? I mean, where does it come from? That's well, that's theological, I guess. But but we're all hybrids in a way. We're all made from something, and I just think that well, we got to get out of the box. And like I said, like I say all the time, like a parachute. If it don't open when you jump out of that plane, you're in trouble. You got to open your mind.
Yeah.
You got to open. And it's not the fall that hurts you, really. It's that sudden stop. Gets you good.
Yeah. A lot of people like my brother-in-law my oldest sister my brother-in-law, his name is Greg. He One day I got together with them, and we lived in Arizona, and they constantly were spraying chemtrails across the skies, the lines. um I told him one day, I said, "Hey, do you see that?" He didn't even know he didn't even know they were doing that. He never even looked up. It was like he had tunnel vision.
Mm,
And I'm like, "What's going on? How come you don't notice it?" My sister said, "Oh, it seems like Greg has tunnel vision. He doesn't pay attention to, anything else, but it's all about work, come home and work, pay bills and
hmm
not let your mind open up to see what's going on around you or
Yeah, I think probably 90% of people are that way, and That's why more and more people are going to these conventions that I'm at, and different people who study this stuff get at, and I get invited to them quite a bit and on podcasts quite a bit because of my view is open-mindedness. And
Yep.
if you don't have an open mind to learn more, it's like I say, when you're green, you grow, but when you're ripe, you rot.
Yeah.
So who wants to just rot? Start learning and just keep delving into what. Of course, I have a passion for it. Maybe that makes me a little different, but my passion ever since I ran into these creatures in the Sierras in the 70s has been to find out more about them, more about what's going on, how they do what they do. And this cloaking thing has been a real issue over the years, but it hasn't been in the last couple of years because I think I figured out how they do it. It's all through their density, and we only see within certain frequencies. Everything is a frequency,
Yep.
and we only see within certain frequencies. And when you get out of that frequency of 430, 770 terahertz, all these other frequencies are there, and everything is a frequency. And if you just can't see that frequency, it doesn't mean it's not there. It just means you don't see it.
Yep.
And so people have to understand how our limitations have been. And that's all due to, who we are now and what we've changed into. But we can get out of that. We can learn more and learn how to. I like to have some type of a device that sees energy and records frequencies, because frequencies are important.
Yep.
And we all kind of take that for granted, and we do. We're in third density, and we're just sort of limited, we think. But
And it's
anyway.
probably it's probably on top of it, Ron. If you think about it, I was thinking the other day, and I'm thinking everything's alive on Earth. Everything. I'm not talking about like people's stuff. I'm talking just the Earth itself. It's everything. A germ is alive. A bug is alive. Everything's alive. It makes me down to the rock. So now it's like, is the rock alive or was it alive before? And is it left over something, a mud fossil or because if you think everything's alive, the germs are alive. So why couldn't something in the air be alive? Why couldn't energy be alive? It could
Well,
be.
energy is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Rock is energy.
Yep.
You find the frequency of anything, you change its matter. And that's Einstein, not me saying it. I said it, but Einstein said it before me. Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it, he said. If you find the frequency of anything, you can change its matter. And again, that was established through a study by Dr. Paul Dirac, also again in 1933, when he got the Nobel Prize for antimatter. And when something changes out of your density, out of your three-dimensional view, uh, it doesn't mean it's not there. It just means you don't see it. And that's a lot of people say, oh, it can't be. I had researchers, and I know them well, friends of mine, that said, if it disappears, that means a helicopter must have picked them up. It's a phony. Don't even go investigate it, because of that. Well, no, people are saying trackways just stop in the middle of nowhere. That happened to me and my daughter. She saw one. We followed it and found this trackway anyway, and it just stopped. And we could not figure out where it went. You look at the trees, you look at the boulders, they jumped over there. No, it just stopped. And these tracks were deep. Whatever made them was really, really heavy. And it was after her sighting. And anyway, there is a science to it, and the science is quantum science. And I just, I keep saying that word, and it throws people sometimes, but that's too bad. They, they gotta get over that,
Yeah,
because
they got to get
it's
over it.
there.
It's there.
It's part of this environment as anything. And it's just not in the micro world. It's all the way from the micro world, all the way through. And yeah, we only see through three dimensions of it. So anyway, I've said that before. I guess I'll probably say it again before my life's over.
A bunch of times.
Yeah.
Everybody gets it.
Well,
Hopefully
they gotta
someday
get
they
it,
will.
because like I said the other night, nothing's just flesh and blood only. Once this biological body goes, and it will go, there's the essence of you, who you really are, the ethereal part, the spiritual part, who you really are, and who you've been incarnated with all these years in different bodies, different reasons for different experiences.
Yep.
It's going to live on. It can't die. Quantum physics says energy can't die.
Yep.
Well, where do you go with that? No, so-and-so died. No, he didn't die. He passed on. His body dies, but he passed on. So who you are, who you really, really are inside, is going to continue on.
Yep,
So
continue to another form or
you
yeah.
want, yeah, yeah. And Einstein wouldn't guess what form. He wouldn't come out and say that, but people are getting more and more educated on what's going on. I think it takes people who are open minded to try to explain, like Edgar Mitchell tried to explain. There's no unusual phenomenon, no unusual phenomenon at all. It's just our lack of understanding. We must strive to close those gaps of ignorance, he says,
Yep.
and that's just true. That's what I try to do, and that's what I'm doing in my life. That's the only reason I've lived this long. I've had so many close calls in my life. I theoretically, if you look at my life, I shouldn't be here. I should be passed on, or you want to call it. But there's a reason I'm here, and it's a reason so I can talk to you and do things that I'm doing
Yep.
to help the situation along. Maybe I hope that's my passion anyway. You
Me
know.
too. Me too. I'd really like people to figure out what's going on and you know what I mean and all that kind of good stuff and know, I just I I don't know. I just to me I got like a grudge that I was never told the truth and misled and all that. And life's all about learning. You know what I mean? It's all about learning. And since
That's so right. Yeah.
I got involved in this, it's just you have
We have
so much
all
to learn.
been lied to and taught wrong and everything else.
Yeah.
I was listening to a National Geographic program on TV last night, or whenever it was, and it's just so ridiculously in the backwoods. They shouldn't even be showing that because our kids are looking at that stuff, or people are looking at that stuff, thinking it's truth, and they just haven't dug deep enough. They go into the pyramids being 4,500 years old, little things like that.
Right.
It's so been disproven now, or come on. But
Mhm.
people have to understand that this production companies just do what they want to do to get attention and get
Yep.
the get their audience going.
Say
But
it's this old one, and this will get them worked up, or
yeah,
a lot of times that gets me, Ron, because I'll hear somebody go, "Oh, this is a million, or this is 50,000 years old." How the hell do you know that's 50,000 years old? Did somebody have a book that said that was 50,000 years old, or is somebody around to tell you that? It's a lot of that shit is it's like, come on.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? I think common sense is a very important thing that we are gifted with. Common sense. Common sense tells you not to touch that it's hot or cold. Common sense tells you what's going on in our world. You know what I mean? Common sense. It's a lot of people seem like they lose it anymore and
Mm,
they don't use their common sense and it's like, wow, I don't get it.
not so common anymore, is it?
I don't get it. I'm just like, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, come on, man, use your common sense. It's like, oh, geez,
Yeah,
too much. Yeah, it seems to me like these creatures are spreading. It's getting more and more and more people seeing them in their backyards, taking pictures, and then they're like, oh, and then there's another thing that flows around, Ron. If you noticed, they'll sit and go, oh, the blurry. Oh, if they're blurry pictures, it's fake. It's
blur
the other way
squatch. Yeah.
around. If they're blurry pictures, they're most chance they're real. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to get a picture of something that is coming in and out of dimension or part way. And a lot of times I've noticed there's paranormal going on. Like there'll be when I run across stuff, I can walk down the road and see there'll be two trees that look exactly the same, markings up of it. I find that a lot. I found it on Google Earth. I found it a lot of it where we're going actually too.
Mm,
So, and then when I
good.
see that, there will be a creature standing around by it. So I'm like,
Mm,
okay,
mm-hmm.
you know,
Well, I'll have to close one eye, make sure one of them don't disappear.
yeah, yeah,
uh, yeah.
true, true, true. Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to all this, Ron. We're gonna have a great time getting together and going up in there and trying to get some evidence to show everybody. And I'm coming
Yeah.
back with something. I'm not, I'm going to come back with evidence regardless, you know.
Let's hope so. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, if that helps somebody to get them another step forward in the understanding, that's what we want to do. Because evidence, a lot of evidence is only given to those that are in the right vibration at the right time, the right place, doing the right thing. And I think we're going to do the right thing. So
well,
it's just, it'd be good. Yeah. So I hope we get something. Yeah, that'd
yeah,
be great.
yeah, I do too.
Well, it's more than hope. I think we will. And
I,
you
I
gotta,
I think we will too.
and yeah,
We got some good guys, and as long as we have that vibe, like you're saying, you know what I mean, of just going in peacefully, I think that we'll be able to be all right. I think if you got any kind of, hate or like, against them or anything like that, I think that is, I don't think it works too good with them, you know.
yeah. Well, it's
But
something
help
to work
shows,
on.
help.
Yeah, we all gotta work towards that same feeling. Yeah,
Mhm. Yes.
and I will, and you will, and
Yep.
yeah, whoever's with us. I'm not sure who's going to be with us for
Yeah.
sure. All
Yeah.
other than Daryl, Daryl will be with us, and
Yep.
maybe Martin. I don't know. We'll see. Be great. Yeah,
It'll
yeah,
be
be
fun,
fun.
man. It's gonna be hectic. Can't wait.
Adventurous.
Yes. Yes.
Everything's an adventure, all the way from everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if it all works out, we come back out of there, then we'll on to the next one. We found several different places that have structure. This one was a bingo with the pyramids, though. It was just,
Mm.
I showed Daryl a picture, and Daryl said, "Is that a pyramid in the back?" And I said, "What?" He said, "It looks like there's a pyramid in the back of that picture." And I said, "Okay, well, let me go back in that area and take a look." So I went back. I seen what he was talking about, and I went back in that area. And I found all kinds of them. There must be 100 of them. And then I found two
uh,
things that look like spaceships.
Anxious to see that and
Hmm.
check it out. That'd be really good. But I've seen those things down in South America and all over, really. See what they have in common, if anything, with these other things, because the same technology is being used for a purpose. I
Yep.
mean, the same technology in South America is over in Egypt and all over. You see pyramids a lot. Well, what are pyramids really doing? They say they're an energy source of whatever it is, energy, but able to transmit and communicate over distances. So anyway, we'll see, and we'll have fun doing it
Yep.
and adventures. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it, Ron.
Hmm.
I'm totally looking forward to it.
Huh.
Awesome, man. Well, it was great
Okay.
chatting with you, and we'll be doing another chat, I guess, with Daryl soon. So all of us, so that'll be fun.
Okay. Great.
And
Yeah.
have a